Hi everyone, Sue here from Maze again. Now recently the Education Select Committee published its report into the SEND system and found widespread failings of the whole SEND system from Ofsted to local authorities to schools. So what I thought might be useful here would be to do a little video today to tell parents 5 ways that you can get the best possible SEND provision for your child. So my first tip is make sure that you have a really good understanding of your child's additional needs. So that might be autism or ADHD or sensory needs or social communication difficulties, but whatever they are, make sure that you have a really good understanding of that. So for example, if you think or you know that your child has sensory processing difficulties, don't just rush out and buy a weighted blanket because you heard that could be a good thing. What you need to know is exactly how is your child affected by their sensory needs. And it might be that what they need is compression clothing, or they might need a skin brushing regime, or maybe they need regular body breaks during the day with opportunities for whole body movement. So make sure that you get a good understanding of what your child's needs actually are, because that information will be invaluable when you go to the school to ask for the right provision. Make sure you know whether or not your child is on the SEND register at school. So the school SENCO or even the class teacher will be able to tell you this. And then if they are on the SEND register, what level of support are they getting? Do they have a 1-page profile, which is the first stage? Do they have a 1 plan, which is the second stage? Or maybe what they need is a statutory assessment of their needs with a view to going ahead to get an education, health and care plan for your child. So do you know where they are in that SEND process? And if not, make sure you get that information from the school. Quite often what I see is targets that have a really good intention, but they're actually a little bit vague. And where targets are vague, they tend not to be achieved, and they then get rolled over onto the next plan and rolled onto the next one, which makes it seem as if the child has made no progress. So what you really need are specific targets. So let me explain what I mean. So one of the targets that I've often seen is to learn to manage strong emotions. Well, that's great, but actually most adults don't know how to do that. But that feels like a very long-term target to me. So instead, what I would expect to see is something like, can the child measure their heart rate so that they can see that it goes up when they do PE? Can they measure their heart rate when they're stressed so that they can check that their heart rate has gone up? And can they begin to learn the difference? So a good target might be around doing an exercise. I've got this book here, Guess Your Heart Rate. So can they play Guess Your Heart Rate twice a week? And can they play How Low Can You Go twice a week? So we're still working towards managing strong emotions, but he would be one step in learning how to do that. So there should be these targets set every term, and you should then be meeting with the school each term to look at what progress has been made and what should the next targets be. So it's a really good idea to go along to those meetings with your ideas and any resources that you've got, any examples of what works well at home. Come along with some good positive ideas to contribute to the new plan at the termly meetings. So make it a priority to have open and positive communication with the school. The schools are often facing an awful lot of challenges that you might not know anything about. So when you go along to termly meetings, make it your responsibility to make that interaction positive. Bring along your ideas, bring along your resources, any suggestions that you've got of what works from your own experience, and try and make that a really positive meeting. Think of yourself as your child's project manager. So that means you're going to go along with some ideas, some knowledge, maybe reports that you've got from other professionals. Come along with things that can contribute positively. But remember, you're the project manager and you should be in the driving seat of your child's SEND provision. Yeah, so that was my 5 top tips for getting the best SEND provision you can for your child in school. If you like this video and you'd like to see more of the other videos that we've done, have a look on our YouTube channel, Maze Says, and follow us on Facebook, the Maze Group Community Interest Company. And if you don't already know, we run specialist parenting programs across North East Essex, and that runs over the whole term. And we also have a huge parents community who host and hold coffee mornings once a month in Clacton Harwich and Colchester, and they're free and you're welcome to drop in. And at any of these places you can get more advice and information on all of the tips that I've covered in today's video. I hope that helped.